our sins. Help us have a great week. Bless our office and our company, and help bless the business of all our agents and their families. And just thank you, God, for everything you do. Amen. Good. So, all right, we're going to start the sales meeting. If you guys got any questions, just put it like, just type them below. Um,
They can text the questions.
and then, can they text them on YouTube?
On their mind. They can text on their mind.
You can text them and remind. Kevin's going to be like our little facilitator. I think that's what you call it. So the first thing I want to say is like, it's very easy, but you should only watch like 30 minutes or an hour of the news every day. Actually, 30 minutes. Why? Because they're just like creating this hysteria and it really affects your mindset. What are the three most important things for a real estate agent to succeed? I'm going to ask you guys, I want to make sure you guys are listening to that. What's one of them, Yvette? Text me the answer on Facebook. It seems like doom and gloom out there. The real estate market is still, functioning. A friend of mine yesterday, Terry Swanson up in Atlanta, he got like 70 contracts last week, listings. He got listings. He got one reason that you think that things are still moving out there, guys. Just text me. Yeah, Yvette Thomas wrote, focus on your purpose goal. It's true, but a lot of this is mindset. This is a great opportunity for all of us as real estate agents. So what's good? I know, for example, a lot of people, Kim Cheshire was one of them, but a lot of people have been losing deals, on when they represent the buyer in multiple offer situations. I think Kim Cheshire just, she just lost three of them a week ago. Well, now those, things are a little bit more equal. The amount of buyers and the listings have, higher. This is a great, time to try to get them on their contract. Now you're going to ask, how am I going to get people on their contract, right? If you have this whole coronavirus stuff, and maybe your buyer is, if you think there's a good listing out there, go ahead and FaceTime live with them, or videotape that listing and send it to them. That's so that's important. What's something else you guys are doing to get your I have a lot of information for you guys, but I want to make this a little bit interactive. What's Jennifer, I saw that you got like a listing last week, right? There's 14 people watching this thing, Kevin?
Yeah. On YouTube. Bill Swinton's watching.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, say hi to Bill.
What's up, Bill?
How do you know who's watching it so
He
far?
texted me. He said he's watching.
Good. Man, this YouTube live is like might be better. So one of the things that people are doing a lot is the virtual tours, and so in that way you can just show the house, and if they're interested in it, then you can just write the contract, via dot loop. You can just email it to them. So that's something else that's going on. The other thing too is
Antoine is watching too.
Who is?
Antoine.
Yeah. Where's my Antoine's very happy, guys. Antoine, how do you know Antoine's watching?
He texted me.
Good. Antoine, he's a big Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, and Tom Brady is over there, so that's a new start. Good. Build connections with people, guys, during difficult times. So this is like a good time if you haven't touched base with someone in a while. Like let's say, in your database you always have people that you feel bad calling them because you haven't talked to them in a year. This is a great way to touch base with them and be like, Hey guys, hey Kevin, how are you doing during this coronavirus? How are things at work? Is your people will chat with you for like you want to talk about a conversation starter? Talk to them about this corona.
Miss Gail's watching.
Miss Gail's watching too. Wow, let's got Miss Gail. Like I'm excited. Good. But if you there's people in my database I haven't touched base with before, and this is a great conversation starter. Hey, how's Corona? I mean, how's everything? Everything going good at your job? That kind of stuff. The most important thing is mindset. Can I tell you something? This is this is when you make the most money. Like this is when the cream really rises. Actually, I shouldn't use that expression "cream really rises" because I told Kevin yesterday about that and he didn't understand it. Like, if you're good, this is when you're really like uh this is when you really make a lot of money, and this is where you separate yourself from everybody else. Now, why the people that are going to succeed now are the ones that have a system, the ones that have like the ones that are prospecting, the ones that are because everybody else, this is a huge opportunity. Let me tell you guys, there's an agent that I know of that picked up a listing 2 days ago because they picked up a listing 2 days ago because the other agent said that they should take the listing off the market. They didn't want to work it anymore. This agent picked up, and it's a pretty good listing. So this is when this is one of your times that you build like a deep and like a uh, emotional connection with like your clients, your database. So let me give you some tips for uh, growing your
Pam Thorne is watching Mike Benson.
Mike Vanson. Let me give you some tips for and Mike Vanson, thank you for watching. Uh, well, let me give you some tips. I think one of the things you guys should do, and I think this one's a no-brainer, and I sent a text message out, and hopefully you guys are going to tell other people about it. But I think a big market that is prime right now is people that own Airbnbs. Like I own one myself, and all my friends that own one, they're all uh, freaking out because when you own Airbnb, you're like a hotel, and a lot of your cancellations have an Airbnb and tell them just go on Airbnb and tell them, listen, my company represents the majority of military buyers in this town, and inventory's a little bit short, and I wanted to see if I could, list your Airbnb. So I think that's important. Um, you think that this is like a challenging market, but it's it's not. Finney Smith is here. Good. But hold up, I'm going to ask you questions, and I want to get like Kevin back here. But I want you to guess how high interest rates were in the beginning of the '80s. 20%, not 15%. 20%. So imagine that. So this is actually like a really good time. If you got some hot buyers, this is when you buyers. I don't know how many buyers I'm going to tell you that got have been losing things just because there's not enough inventory out there. This is a great time to go out there. Interest rates are still low, and go out there and okay, things are like, and I think things are gonna like get back to the government just passed a big stimulus package today, so things are gonna get a lot better. But this is a chance where you get. That's what I told. We had a staff meeting, Kevin, last week, and I told him, no, last week, no, yesterday, I said, this is where champions are made, guys. Like,
Yeah.
this is where, like, if you do what you're supposed to be doing as a real estate agent and as a real estate operator, you rise to the. So, touch base with your database this week. Make sure of your buyers. You can do If they don't want
For
a virtual tour, send it to them, write them a contract. They can sign that contract in a due diligence period. They can go by themselves to the vacant house, you know, and make sure they like it, and then that's it. This is a great opportunity, guys. I don't know how many buyers we've had that they were almost getting demoralized because every time they put something. All right, I want some questions from you guys. You guys remember you gotta if you're watching this, either text Kevin or text if you're watching on YouTube, either text Kevin with a question so you can get the $5 or ask me a question on Facebook. Ask me a question or ask me about a listing or any kind of situation. Please, Yvette Thomas says, please review mindset for me. Well, that's one of the basic principles of Mike Ferry, right? So what's the core of Mike Ferry, right? It's the first one is skills. You have to know what are your skills? Your skills are listing, talking to their client, objections, listing presentations. So you have to your one-on-one and two of your good goals with your goals, Mr. Beck, and you're passionate about that goals. And then you create a business plan. And maybe you have some ambitious goals, but in that business plan, you create that business plan and then but like let's say your business plan is you want to make $200,000, but you're making $30,000 right now. So there's a disconnect between your business plan and your vision and what the reality is. But to get there, you have to have the right mindset. So that's what the mindset is. So instead of now you thinking that instead of now you thinking that man, this is good, Kevin. Instead of you thinking now that things are terrible, I think things are just as good or maybe even better, but you have to change the way you're doing business for that.
yeah,
So you're gonna have to go like
you have to learn a new way.
for a little bit. So if you have a good listing out there, go ahead and do a little virtual tour and post it on your Facebook page. There's lots of buyers out there, guys. Interest rates are still really, really low. And so it's a mindset shift. You don't want to get caught with all this negativity. You don't know what happened in Y2K, Kevin?
Tell me.
Dude, you don't know what happened? It was like the biggest fraud ever. So
Yes, I heard about that.
they thought everything was gonna like crash. And you know what happened in year 2000? Nothing happened. Now this is a little bit different because people are getting sick of it.
Sal said, Kevin, put me down for $5. Sure, you're watching.
Sal said,
Sal. And Julie Ligon's watching.
Good.
She said, as well as the policy and procedures video. Okay.
Okay. Well, we'll keep going. So, hype out there, but right now the mortality rate, and this is a serious thing, but it's not as serious as right now. The mortality rate in Germany is point Facebook. 99% of the people that died in Italy had an age group of they were 80 years old and they all had some kind of underlying major heart issue.
Michelle wrote that.
What did she say?
Michelle, the bottom.
Okay, so Michelle wrote this topic right here. I want you to read it to the group, Kevin, to make it interactive a little bit.
As of Monday, I had a buyer who was still looking at occupied homes and was surprised at how many people were still okay with us coming into their homes. Do you think that we will get mandated to not enter occupied properties? I personally prefer not to during these times.
Yeah. So Michelle had a very good question. So I love you, Michelle. Like, but she had a topic. She goes, as of Monday, I had a buyer who was mandated to not enter occupied properties. I personally prefer not to during these times. Michelle Fields, um, realtor. So there's a bunch of good topics here. Obviously, you want to show. Obviously, you want to. If you can show a vacant property, that would be better, Miss Michelle. If you can show, I don't think anything's going to get mandated, and I'll tell you why. We're like in a really weird situation, but and this is part of the problem is we went from like a manufacturing based economy to a consumer based economy. So basically, we're all just buying and providing services to each other. And once people stop doing that, the economy is really going to contract. And what they're starting to realize now is that, if we keep doing this pace, our economy in the second quarter is going to contract by like 30%. And that's going to hurt, then you start getting into all kinds of like ethical issues like, well, you know, um, are people going to kill themselves? Or are they going to get divorced? What's going to happen? I want to show a home that's um, occupied. What I will tell you is that, um, you can Google this after. So in a little bit of time period, everything should be okay for two reasons. You can Google this after, but the guy who's the chief doctor for Congress, too. So we're either going to make it through like the herd immunity, where everybody already kind of recover from it, or a lot of these people have it, and they don't even nothing even happens for it. So I think you know everybody knows their um, their own health condition. But what I'm trying to say is, like, if you're, you know, under 70, I read, and you don't have like a health condition, you have like it's occupied homes. I don't think it's going to I think that but I don't think it's gonna get mandated for us to stop doing it because they're really worried about this thing getting out of control.
So,
What's the idea behind it?
mm, a measure to approach and access the risks that might be relevant to upcoming interviews between homeowners, real estate agents, and appraisers prior to inspection and stuff like that. We can send it out on the message.
Yeah. So basically, what is
It's
the bullet
it's
points?
from the Department of Veterans
Yeah.
to prevent.
If the person seems like they're really sick
Chris
on the
Harper.
phone,
Chris Harper's watching.
don't go. Chris Harper is watching too. Good. But I would like um I don't know. I get really because the economy is still going pretty well, but in my opinion, I'm just gonna get on my little political on my soapbox. I was at I've been trying to support local business on Friday. I was at a restaurant and every single waitress and bartender got laid off that night, and they don't have a place to work. They can't get another job because no one's hiring right now, and um, they couldn't get another job, and now they're just waiting for this $1,000 check that's going to come in the mail. um, they're just waiting for this $1,000 check that's going to be about. By the time it gets there, they're going to owe money, and so this is like a. I think like this whole thing has been really hurting, like young people and people not making very much money. Anthony Smith had a question, Kevin. Like, what is it? Like, Anthony, like,
The one to take their property off the market due to fear of someone infected by the virus, and how do you ensure buyers?
then the second question is like, how do you assert, like, how do you, guarantee to your buyer that they're not going to get this virus? So the answer to the first one of the listing, this is all like a personal, you know, question. But what I would say, I put a video out this, but the first thing you want to do to the seller is, whatever they want to do, you got to support on them because what your job is to. Chef, you want to come in here?
Yeah.
All right. Chef's gonna bring in like let's get a chair. We can get Kevin here. We got Chef here too.
Hello, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good morning.
Good. We got the Chefinator. Good. I need you to smile, Chef. You're looking like you got like being sarcastic, like a deer in the headlights. Look.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So Chef's here, guys, too. So the first thing, Anthony just asked a question about how would you what do you do if your buyer? How are you gonna tell your buyer he's not gonna catch anything? So the answer to the first one is it's up to the first thing you want to do is for the represent the this is very it's up to the seller on this, and whatever you do is for them to like is support them. But if you have a seller, the market is still hot right now. What happened in property or that kind of thing, I'd recommend for him to I'd recommend him to right now I wouldn't have like a issue. I'd probably ask my listing agent to make sure that the person is so you can go in if you got a buyer, what you can do, worst case scenario, is you can go in Facebook Live and then have them send them a contract loop. They can sign the contract, and during the due diligence period, they can go to the house and make sure the house is empty and make sure they like it. That's a lot of my friends up in Atlanta are having success with that. Like I said, Terry Swanson, we're getting contracts, but like Terry Swanson's telling me last week he had 70 contracts come in. So like,
Yeah, and the other thing is there's still a major shortage of listings. We're still getting multiple offers. So it really is still a great time to be a seller.
Yeah.
Because now there's even more of a shortage of
Yeah.
inventory.
Gail said that she's still listing vacant properties.
Yeah. Ms. Gail said you're still
Listing vacant.
listing vacant properties. Bobby Hill says, Shep, it's funny, guys. Shep had this laser surgery done, so his eyesight's better than mine. Like, Shep, read some of the what are some of the questions people are like are saying right there?
Okay,
Like Bobby Hill.
Hill, what safety measures should we use for the clients when touring a home?
I think we're gonna send out like an email, Miss Bobby, about this. But we're gonna send out an email about this, Miss Bobby. But what's some of the points that Sal sent to us, Kevin, about safety stuff?
To ask yourself questions like, are you having flu-like symptoms such as fever, cough, or shortness of breath?
Yeah.
In the last 14 days, have you traveled to a high-risk area?
So I think you can ask these questions because I don't think it's one of those it's protected by those 6, 7
That's one I was asking someone the other day.
Yeah, but basically, what you can do is you want to ask your buyer if you got a buyer coming over to the house, or if you're representing the seller, you want to ask, have you had any flu-like symptoms? Have you had shortness of breath? Have you traveled outside the country in the last 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Those are legal questions for you to ask.
And the other thing is just if you go in the house, don't touch anything.
Yeah.
bring some wipes maybe to wipe the door down.
Do they're gonna do virtual tours. They're gonna do FaceTime Live with their clients. Nothing.
Chris Harper asked Alex if the company is requiring agents use the addendum GR put out regarding the virus in every agreement.
We're trying to. So Chris Harper asked a question. There is like a new GAR form for the coronavirus. This is a very good question, Chris. We're contemplating right now if we're making it mandatory. The issue is that it doesn't have very much teeth behind it, and I don't think it's very legal. But me and Shep are going to make a decision on that. He's going to make a decision on that today. All right, so Chris gets. We're going to take a look. Chris gets $5. All right, someone else ask a question so they can get $5. Gail already did it. Sal already did it. Angelica, we're ignoring all of Angelica's questions. It must be driving me crazy.
Angelica said the Walmart and Publix are still hiring.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the company has set up policies on how to work with sellers and buyers. We've sent that out.
Yeah. So we sent out the policies on how to work with buyers and sellers, guys.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Database, right? Because you got we always talk about this, but you have, you'll get 10% business off 100 people in your database. So that's 10 people. If you got 200 people, you get 20 people. So there's a big, and 5% of that would be referral, and 5% of that would be 5% of that be referral, and 5% of that would be people in your database direct business. 5% will be the direct business, and 5% will be referral from the people in your database. So this is a great opportunity to work a database, touch base with them, put them in Zap, set them up on those business newsletters. Jennifer, how many people you got in your database right now? I'm asking Jennifer Murphy. Let's see if she's listening. I think there's a little pause in here between what's going on and what's not going on. Well, this has actually been fun, Shep.
Yeah. Those at risk and healthcare folks.
Yeah.
Just tell Bob to be
just tell folks.
One thing, Bob McLean
like a champ. But Gail, as I said, Gail McLean has these. I don't know. You go on Bob's page, but she'll do it for free. But she's making patterns. But she's making these face masks that have these colorful patterns in them, and they're really they look really good, and they're pretty. Actually, I would wear them just as a fashion statement because they're pretty stylish. Because the other ones are plain Jane, and you look like you're about to die, in the next 30 minutes. But these are dude, you're pretty hip wearing these. They have all these fancy designs on them and stuff. They're pretty hip. So that's a good one. So she's willing, if anyone wants one, text Kevin and she'll make you one.
Thank you, Gail.
Thank you, Miss Gail. Supporting the American health, making sure we all don't die. What are the questions we got here, guys?
That's about 45 minutes.
Yeah, we got 5 minutes left on this thing. Oh, Kim Brown has a question. Okay, Kim Brown says, I love the meetings because I can't get out much due to health risk. Good. Yeah, it was good. It was, I'm glad you're watching. We should have done this before, but this is one of those things, the way you got to change your business. Shep and me realized, we should probably be doing this before. And when we do have live meetings, we're going to still do it FaceTime with this. But this is one way, the same way you got to change your relationships with your buyers and sellers. The same way you got to change your relationship with your buyers and sellers. Shep and me realized that we had to do that with you guys because what's happening? We have a whole labor force that's at home and they're stressing out and they really don't know what the facts are. From the standpoint is that they're just watching every day. You should only watch like the news. I'll be honest, guys. And a very famous psychologist said this for about 30 minutes because what's going to happen is just going to take your blood pressure up, and it doesn't. The Republican side is, or it's been like this for thousands of years, and the reason is because then they can sell more stuff. They can sell more TV ads. So watch like 30 minutes and then watch like mindset videos, guys. The market is not slowing. The other thing is, you all have personal decisions on how much risk you want to put out there, but it's not slowing down. The market is still pretty strong as we speak.
And actually, we think real estate's going to hold up pretty well
Yeah.
for this because the rates are low. There's still a shortage of inventory. So sellers are getting record prices still. So we really think the real estate market's going to hold up a lot better than the stock market has. Plus, you're not going to get all the foreclosures that we had in 2008. They're not going to let that happen. That's what brought that market down. We don't have that situation.
And guys, this is a great time to talk. Let me tell you why this is another great time to talk to your database. So they're probably working from home, so that I stressed out. You can have some genuinely good conversations with them. So Angelica put something else here, Shep. What did Angelica say?
Okay. Yeah, we should keep doing these meetings even when things are back to normal. Yeah, we should be taking.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
We'll take our meetings. Good.
All right, one last question to wrap it up. Who's going to do it? We're going to give a special prize to the next person to ask. Guys, come on. I know you all haven't died from the coronavirus yet.
Yeah.
Little. I don't need anyone to get super sensitive with me about that. We're making things light here. Actually, a great thing you can say to your buyer and seller. This is a great line. You can be like, if you have a buyer and you're FaceTime with them, how much?
Thanking.
Chris Harper, come on, ask me. Ori Gary, Ori, ask me a question. I'm giving you guys like 30 more seconds. After that, we're going to have to close shop here. Okay. Anyone? I was going to say, so to wrap this up, ask me a question while I'm wrapping this up. But to wrap this up, we can still make a lot of money out there. The transactions are, it's a mindset issue. The transactions haven't dropped. So you're only a little bit. So you're like, so if you're not going to get that business, someone else is going to get that business. And the other thing too is you're having some kind of, now there is an issue with loans right now. And like a lot of these mortgage shops have temporarily stopped doing it. So if you
Question we'll do.
Yeah.
Discuss the advantages of investing in real estate right now in this environment versus the stock market and other investments.
Oh, this is good. As opposed to like you want to go first, Shep?
Well, I think real estate's going to be a winner through all this because one of the things I think that government's going to keep interest rates low. I think we're going to be spending more time at home in the future. Maybe more people working out of home. So, and I think the rental rates are going to rise. So it's another reason you want to fix a 30-year mortgage. But I think housing could be a winner at the end of this. And like I say, we're not going to see the cascade of foreclosures that we saw in 2008. So I think housing is going to be good.
Yeah. And I think the other thing too, Chris, and I want to tell the guys, this is a mindset issue because you don't want to be the best investment people are always like they follow contrarian kind of strategy. People make decisions emotionally and not rationally. That's why you got so many people that are like marry someone and a year later they're like, dude, what did I do? What I was thinking when I married this person? So this is like a great time for you to get listings. Like they're going to be people that are going to need to like sell their homes, unfortunately, for a variety of different reasons. and this is a great opportunity. You know, if you read any investing book, they always say people make the most money during panics, and people lose the most money during panics too. So, I mean, look at 2008. If you had since 2008, the market was based on emotions.
So I think sellers are going to continue to get good prices because of will be good and go up. That's why you want to buy. But I think the investors will do well.
The majority of there's a reason why the majority of millionaires in the country by far in real estate because of all the tax advantages you get. So, anyways, my big tip for the day is our big tip is go on Airbnb app. This is a great time, but all those people, a lot of my friends on Airbnb, like have texted me and they're like, "Hey, have you seen your cancellations go down?" So if they're not renting those properties out, like daily nights, they're losing money on it. So, anyways, guys, we had a good meeting here, Kevin. Thank you for giving Kevin a shout out. Peace. Shop was right over here, and it was good. We had on YouTube we had 16, and
Well, we have more than that.
like yeah, at one point we had. But thank you. We're all gonna make it through this. This is a mindset change, guys. There's nothing. There's no benefit at all. There's no benefit at all from like panicking. Like for a week it might be feel, but there's nothing positive that's gonna happen for me being home and like having a bunker mentality. So Jennifer says, good job, Kevin.
Yeah. You're welcome. Great.
Good. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap things up, but thank you for everything. And if you guys have any questions, talk to Shep and me. Thank you all.
Thank you all. Okay, that was good.
Let's save this video, Kevin, and post it.
That was good. Hold on.